So a week ago, our family, we spent about 7 days at the Lake of the Ozarks, 8 days at the Lake of the Ozarks on vacation. We were there for the 4th of July. Our daughters were there. My future son-in-law, our granddaughter was there, and a couple from Texas who were friends of ours, and our dogs. Now, in the Lake of the Ozarks, people start shooting off fireworks. Well, they shoot off fireworks all the time, but they really get intense the week of the 4th of July, not just on the 4th of July, but the nights before. So we had a nice cookout. I think I'd cooked pork on the grill. We were had just finished dinner, and somebody said, we probably need to let the dogs out to go potty before the fireworks start around here. And so we let the dogs out. They ran up the hill. I think I let the dogs out. They ran up the hill, and they're chasing a squirrel or something. They get just up the top of the hill, and they never wander off. So they get up there and they're going to do their business. And all of a sudden, a neighbor across the cove shoots off one of those really loud, booming fireworks. There's no fireworks to it except for just the sound. And with that sound, my dogs are terrified, and they start running back, hightailing it back to the house. Now, Rocky's younger. He makes it back first and comes inside. Mabel's still making her way down the hill when another boom goes off. And I think to my dog, Mabel, she thinks it's coming from the house, and she turns around and she runs. Now, I didn't see that part of it. The kids said, no, our granddaughter said, no, I think she went the other direction. I thought maybe she'd come inside. So there were people coming in and out. I thought she'd come inside. Wasn't too worried about it. But 10 minutes later, somebody says, I think Levon said, where's Mabel? I don't know where she is. I think she's in the house. We looked all the way through the house. We looked underneath the beds. We looked everywhere. There was no Mabel. So we go outside and we start calling for her. Here, Mabel. Come on, Mabel. Come on, girl. Come on. No sign of her. Now we're getting a little nervous because, there's more fireworks coming after dark. And we don't want her out there left to her own after dark. We're always with her when she's out at the lake after dark. So I'm not worried. She's going to come back. She never wanders very far off. 30 minutes go by, no sign of Mabel. So then I'm getting nervous too. We all go to the neighbors. We go to every neighbor's house, knock on the door. Have you seen our dog? Please watch out for her. 30 minutes go by, no sign of Mabel. Levon drives around the neighborhood, no sign of her. Finally, I get Stella in the car, and I said, come on, Stella. We went in the truck, and we drove up. I drove a mile one direction and a mile another direction. Now, she never goes that far away, and you got to go up a big hill to get there. No sign of Mabel. We came back. I'm really getting worried now because you see at the Lake of the Ozarks after dark, there are some critters that are big enough that could eat one of my dogs. And I was worried, even if that didn't happen, just the sheer sound of the fireworks at night by herself in the woods, and I'm really concerned for her. I really love this little girl. And so, we contacted one of our neighbors who was on the Facebook community page and said, can you get on the page and mention that we've lost our dog? And the Nextdoor app. And so, and we drove, Stella and I got in the truck, we drove again. As we're driving that mile each way, the windows down, Mabel, come on, Mabel, come on, Mabel, come on, girl. No sign of her. We pull back into the house. We say somebody found her. And somebody had seen this picture on Facebook. I need help finding this little girl's family. I found her wandering the road on Blue Jay at Osage Oaks Drive. Super sweet, has a pink and white flower collar on, but no tags. Her tags had broken off the week before. I was getting ready to order her new tags, but I wasn't worried at the lake because she always stays nearby. And how grateful I was that somebody found her. So Stella and I got back in the truck. We drove over there. And when she saw us, she just looked like she is totally disoriented and afraid. She'd walked a long ways. And I took her in my arms, and she just held on, like, my master's here. He's found me. Right? And so I was thinking about, why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you the story because in it, it's a great metaphor for what we find in Scripture. In the Bible, of course, people didn't have, some had dogs and cats, but generally they did have other kind of animals. And so sometimes the sheep wandered away. And this is a metaphor that's used frequently in the Bible for God and his people. So in Ezekiel chapter 34, the leaders of Israel were not taking care of the sheep, the people, the shepherds, the priests and the leaders of the people. They were not carefully tending the people. And so terrible things had happened. The Babylonians had come in and destroyed the city of Jerusalem and taken many of the Jewish people into exile in Babylon. And so God says this through Ezekiel to the people. He says, listen, you have failed. The shepherds of Israel have failed, and my people have been left to be scattered as food for the wild animals. And he says, therefore, I will seek the lost. God says this, I will seek the lost. I will bring back the strayed, and I will bind up the injured, and I will strengthen the weak. This is the heart of God for people who've wandered away from God. I think of Jesus' ministry in Luke chapter 19, verse 10, a passage I ask all of our members to memorize. We capture this idea of what Jesus came to do. And he says, the Son of Man came to seek and to save those who are lost. He's drawing directly from Ezekiel chapter 34. He says, I've come in the flesh to do what God said he would do in Ezekiel 34, to seek and to save the lost. And Jesus is constantly scanning the horizon, meeting with people, caring for people, tending people who'd been pushed away from church, pushed away from God, not church, synagogue, pushed away from God, and trying to bring them back again. That is his heart's desire. That is why I'll tell you, at Church of the Resurrection, our purpose statement is to build a Christian community where non-religious and nominally religious people are becoming deeply committed Christians. Everything we do, we're asking this question. How can we be the church for the people who are lost, the people who have strayed? How can we go out and find the people who have lost their way or slowly wandered away from God? That is our driving passion here, is to help people come. Why? Because it was Jesus' driving passion. I love it in one of his parables. Jesus says there was a shepherd who had 100 sheep and one of them wandered away. Wouldn't he leave the 99 behind to go find that one lost sheep? And then he says this, and when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders and rejoices. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying to them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost. Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. Jesus describes himself as a good shepherd. And Matthew notes that he looked on the multitudes that were following him, the people in the community who were not engaged probably in the synagogue or anything else. He had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. I was reminded both in our worry for Mabel and our intense dog hunt for her, and then the joy that we felt when we finally found her, that this is the heart of God for us. So I want to ask you this question. Have you ever felt lost? Have you ever felt like you wandered away? And you've heard this before, but if you feel far from God, which of you moved? Was it you or was it God? And I tell you, God never runs away from you, but we often slowly wander away from God. We become disoriented by things that happen in life, by the booms that happen in life, or the things that happen to us. We find ourselves disoriented. We find ourselves wandering away from the one who would hold us and keep us and protect us. We find ourselves drawn away from God by things that we think look appealing, like our dogs running into the woods after deer or something else. We find ourselves drawn away from God, and God longs for us to come back home. I'm going to ask you today, have you wandered from God? And I just want you to know this, if you have, God's not angry. God desperately wants you back. And the very fact that you're watching this, that may not be an accident. It may be God beckoning you and saying, hey, this part's for you. Come home. There's an old gospel hymn, and if you know it, I'd love to invite you to sing it with me. I have a terrible voice, but I'll invite you to sing it anyway. Just captures this idea of God searching for us. It says this, softly and tenderly Jesus is calling for you and for me. See on the portals he's waiting and watching for you and for me. Come home, you who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, oh sinner, come home. Today's a great day to come home, to be found again by God. He wants you. And really, for you, it's just, God, I've been lost, and I want to come back home. And he takes you back.
Thanks for tuning in to Making Sense of Faith with Adam Hamilton. Do you know someone wrestling with life's biggest questions? Share this episode with them, because the more people willing to embrace the hard questions, the better. Do you want to go deeper? You can visit makingsenseoffaith.com to find the show notes and additional resources. That's also where you can sign up to get the notes and resources delivered straight to your inbox. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe and leave us a rating in your podcast player. That'll make sure that you get the latest episodes and help others find the podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell to catch future episodes and videos there. Until next time, remember that your questions matter. Doubts are normal, and making sense of faith is a lifelong journey. We'll see you on the next episode of Making Sense of Faith.